Hello everyone and welcome back to another. In today's video we're doing a how to build on the brand new green tier. So green tier has about 4,000 more base stats than the old tier in terms of CC. Is about 4,000 CC, which is all coming from his base stats, which is pretty nice. He does share the same substats, which aren't too bad. So he has a pierce rate skill and he's got decent pierce rate, which is quite nice. He's got okay resistance. It's on the lower side, but it's fair enough. He's got very good crit chance. Crit damage is okay. 233 with HTB defense is not bad. Pushing about 250 with attack crit, which is it's still good. He's got generally quite good crit damage. Crit resistance 83%. It's okay. It's still on the lower side, but it's okay. Crit defense 97% is good. It's on the better end of good as well. Pardon me. And 12% lifesteal, which is maybe a little bit lower for the average, more meta unknown character, but it's still a decent amount, and you still can get that a little bit higher as well with some more outfits. So we're going to his skills first, which, may I say, the artwork for his cards are absolutely, like, they're so sick. I love the art. They actually look better in game, so we'll come to here and we'll go into this and we'll talk about his cards, just because they look so cool. So he has an Amplify single type, which has the exact same multipliers, nothing special, but they got animation just because we can. Damage isn't too high because, yeah, we'll get into that why his damage isn't too high in a second. His other skill is Rampage, which is 3 times pierce rate, and the hero's attack is increased by 8% when using a skill. So basically, he gets 80% more attack when he uses this skill, and he gets 3 times pierce rate on top of that for the effect, which is pretty good. It's a very powerful skill. It's basically pierce rate with an 80% attack increase. And then he has your average Several AoE, which you get an attack related stat buff. The attack related stat buff scales by 5% per ult level, so once again 1 to 1/6, so it's 5%, all the way up to 30%, which is 6/6 of course. We'll play the ultimate as well. Normal tier ult, nothing special. I do wish it had like an additional effect, maybe through the passive. Even if it's just a damage increase, or it counts as a single target, which would go pretty well with this passive. It's a decent ultimate though. It's a very long animation. There you go. Not too much damage, but generally it's more used as support ultimate, and the red tier gets more damage out of it. He seems to be more of the DPS type. So onto his Unity / Bond, he does have the exact same as the previous tier. Also, that does scale with ult level as well, going from 20% crit defense all the way to 60% at 6/6, gaining 10% a level. 10%? Okay, no, he gains 5% from, I guess, 1/6 to 3/6, and from 3/6 onwards he gains 10%, which is okay. It's decent. Like, 60% extra crit defense for a character that's already got decent crit defense is nice. It's actually very nice. And then we'll go on to his passive, which is his key part of his kit. So, immediate problem. If you look top right, as you can see here, there are 2 symbols. One of them, which is the PvP symbol, and one of them, which is the Demonic Beast symbol. He only works in PvP and Demonic Beast, meaning anywhere else in PvE, whether it be Final Boss, or let's just say he gets added to Labyrinth, his passive won't work. Which is, it's very sad, but I understand that I guess they designed him to be a Demonic Beast character, but to sort of not maybe be as scummy as they were, I guess, thinking, sort of like releasing a super hard content and then immediately releasing the problem solving character the week after. They thought he'd work in PvP, which is really good. He's actually really good in PvP as well, which is quite nice. So his passive: for each applicable ally participating in battle, the applicable ally's crit resistance and crit defense increase by 15%. The damage taken is decreased by 15%, and the hero's damage dealt is increased by 20%. I'm pretty sure this means per ally. It says for each ally, and this is all in one paragraph, so my assumption is that they get, let's just say there's 3 allies, you get 45% damage reduction, and tier gets a 60% damage increase. 4 allies, 4 allies is 60% crit resistance, crit defense boost, as well as a 80% damage increase for tier, which is good. And the crit defense and crit resistance is really nice because Deer has a lot of crit chance and a lot of crit damage. But still problem, you're still going to get nuked because you don't have much resistance anyway. So that's another slight problem. I do wish it was maybe just defense related substats boost instead of just crit resistance and crit defense. They're still insane, and in PvP this is all you really need. And it does make sense from a PvP standpoint why they didn't give him an insane resistance boost. Not only because Lolly Merlin's meta means he would just get killed even quicker, but generally, crit resistance and crit defense is really nice against like Liz Melly, Mael, mill 'em. Basically any meta team, crit resistance and crit defense is always going to be really nice for. So it's got applies Roar of Time, Roar of the Battle, not Roar of Time is the thing from Pokemon. God damn it. Roar of the Battlefield to applicable allies at the start of the battle. So this is a permanent grey buff that always sits in the buff 1 slot, so it always sits like your first effect slot. Roar of the Battlefield increases pierce rate by 3% and damage dealt by 2% for every 1% HP remaining. If you're missing 99% of your health, you will get a lot of damage increase. You'll get a 196% damage increase, as well as a casual 291% pierce rate boost. You know, standard stuff. It is kind of insane. Was it? No, don't worry, I'm an idiot. It's 297% pierce rate boost, which is insane. Bear in mind, both Hell and this new tier have a pierce rate skill, which is 3 times pierce rate. We're not even done. Bear in mind, this only works in PvP and Demonic Beast. Increase applicable allies' attack by 15% for 3 turns at the start of the allies' turn. Stacks up to 3 times. So you can give your teammates a 45% attack boost, plus let's just say the insane pierce rate boost and the insane damage dealt boost if you're at 1%, which with Hell is much easier. I wonder if it rounds down to like 0. So do you get all of the like basically 300% pierce rate, 200% damage dealt boost, and you've got a little bit extra, which is more of like his PVE side of his passive. If there is one enemy on the battlefield, all buffs are removed from them when the hero uses a skill, which is insane. I think that's meant to be like buff removal, so when you use it on like, I guess, Demonic Beasts that have buffs, you can remove the buff, which is pretty cool. It's another way to remove buffs, which I've only just realised that's part of his passive now, because I said I just read this bit. If allies use 3 single target attacks or more in 1 turn, 2 debuffs are removed from each ally. Each ally and allies whose debuffs were removed heal 20% of their max health. So, if this passive sounds familiar, it is a mixture of Shion's Relic, which is if you play 3 single targets you get cleansed, and a mixture of Red Magelda's passive, where if you remove a debuff, the person who's had their debuff removed regenerates 20% of their max HP. And I believe he was definitely designed to replace Red Magelda, as well as to replace Hell on Deer Floor 4, but he also works insanely well on Bird Floor 4. I'll have a video going out that probably tomorrow. I'll probably make that video. He is insane. He's better than Lolly Merlin. I know Lolly Merlin's just sort of stepped into the field of just being good on that team, but this tier is another level of good. He himself doesn't put out the same damage as Lolly Merlin, but he puts out like the support value you get. Magelda's hitting insane damage because she's got extra buffs. Shion's hitting insane numbers because she's got more buffs. Thor's doing insane damage because it's Thor. And I guess Tyr's just helping the team, which is really good. And he generally tanks really well. Of course, that is because he's got damage reduction, he's got damage increase, he's got resistances, all kind of boosts and stuff. And his team that he's normally on, whether that be PvE or PvP, will have some form of stat boosting, whether that be substats or just standard base stats. So for gear, I've actually made in 2 sets. So old tier should have attack crit. So if you have red tier and you've got attack crit for him, it's fine. I made this tier also HP defense as well, just so let's just say there's, I don't know, certain content, or generally in PvP, I would prefer to run him with HP defense. For geared, once again, equipment only works in geared PvP, but HP defense is my go-to set for this tier, only because, once again, let's say you've got red tier 6/6, you've now got a HP defense tier link that you can put on someone else if you don't really want to use tier somewhere, in PvE or PvP or wherever. Come to his outfits. So, if you've been playing since the release of Red Tier, you may have his Hawk Pass outfit, which is this one. If not, you'll have 4 outfits for free if you have both tiers, which is actually pretty good. I actually really like this outfit. You also got the headgear as well, which is nice. Weapons, you've got the normal standard tier outfit. You've got, when you evolve this new green tier, you get this as a weapon, and then you've got the Hawk Pass weapon as well. So you will have to buy 2 additional weapons if you've been playing since the start and you've picked up tiers Hall Pass. If not, you will have to pick up all 3 if you do want to max size his outfits, which I'm not going to do. Headgears wise, so you've got normal tier. I think this is the Affinity tier one. I don't think I actually picked up the Hawk Pass headgear for him. I don't know why, I just don't think I did. This is the Evolution headgear, and you've also got the Affinity headgear for this tier as well. So you will have to pick up either one headgear if you not like me and didn't pick up the Hawk Pass one, or if you have the Hawk Pass one, you won't have to pick up any and you have 5 headgears, which is pretty good. His CC, like fully maxed out, I believe is just over 74,000, which is good. It's like the standard CC for SSR characters nowadays. Nausian's is 74k. No idea what Yorm is. I know Hell is 74k, maybe just a little bit over. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.